Jackson, pleasantries. What's going on in your life?
This past week, I got an STD.
Class is now in session.
Welcome back to episode 20 of the 9 Degrees Podcast, the number one non-educational education-themed podcast in the world. We may have 9 degrees among us, but we still don't know much about anything. We'll keep you informed about the most interesting current events around the world, but make sure you use a fact checker because we certainly don't. As always, I'm your boy Jerome. We got MADDOX, we got Jackson back for another episode. As always, remember you can catch the audio version of this podcast on Apple, Spotify, anywhere else you get podcasts, video on youtube.com/JeromeVoz. Make sure you follow us on socials at 9 Degrees Pod on everything. The clips have been absolutely blowing up recently on TikTok and Instagram specifically. They've been doing a lot better, so I like to see that. And also, come join the classroom on Discord. Class is now in session with Homeroom, our weekly segments where we catch up on our life and have pleasantries and gripes and all that good stuff. Jackson, I'm calling on you first. What is going on in your life?
Okay, actually, there's something I want to talk.
I changed my mind because I have in this moment decided you're not as important. MADDOX, I want to talk about this. I forgot, but MADDOX, you had a viral video this week, and I want to talk about that first. Sorry, Jackson.
Well, I did have a viral video. I do not think it's deserved to silence Jackson.
Of the cutoff?
No, I mean, I actually didn't know what Jerome was doing. I was like, we need to talk to MADDOX first about that.
Yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad.
Okay, well then we're good then. He consented to being silenced. Yeah.
Some people are into that.
Should I show you just for proof that
We should. Yeah, I'll screen grab it and I'll put the video right here.
Okay, well, here's
The editors are really going to have a big task.
Here's the stats. Okay, you can't see that.
Can't see it. I can't see it.
Anyway, yeah. We so on a whim the other night, my wife and I posted a TikTok short cat video with a just a viral sound. Not thinking that it was gonna, be anything special. None of we have a joint account where we do like cat family friendly stuff.
Like
sometimes.
a couple accounts. You have a couple accounts.
Yeah, and we just put it on there at like 11 p.m. Not even like trying to pick the good time or whatever,
right.
Just put it on there. And woke up the next morning. It had 12K likes, I think.
Damn.
And
yeah,
it's just been going for like 3 days straight. Hasn't stopped.
What's it at now? What's the total view count? 1 point something million?
1.5 million.
God damn.
219,000 likes. 1,059 comments, 62 shares, 8,750 bookmarks. This is what's sickening
stop?
To me.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not stopped. It's still going.
Right.
I'm literally getting
right.
Still getting notifications right now. It's been like 4 or 5 days. 2,544 hours of total playtime.
Damn. That's
kind of
what is that in days? Someone do the math real quick.
It's like 1,000 days.
A little less.
What
did you say?
Maybe 100.
2,544.
Yeah, that's over 1,000 days.
100 days.
100. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Come on, you fools.
Wait. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 100 days. 100 days.
Wow.
People have spent watching my silly cat video.
6 degrees of math for you.
Yeah.
Interesting though. So Jerome, you've had some stuff pop off on TikTok though.
Yeah.
Right?
Nothing that's broken a million. My best has been 700K. And I try to respond to everyone. A lot of people just say some random nonsense that I don't really care about. I assume with the amount of comments and stuff that you've been getting, you have stopped keeping track of that stuff.
Yeah, I tried to go on there. What we did is the comments that had like a lot of likes, like some of the comments have like 10,000 likes.
Good
we
God.
went and responded to those like with a video to like,
ooh,
or like
yeah, that's how you cyclically farm.
Yeah, I like
content
that
on TikTok. Yeah,
I like that.
But okay, interestingly enough, though, so I feel like this is for people that are making content on the internet. This is kind of like the dream, you finally had something go viral, right? And really the only thing it's been really like, only thing it's changed for me is like, this question of like, is my account just cursed, or like, is the algorithm just oppressing me? You know, like, because when you post stuff kind of frequently and it doesn't do anything, you're like, is it even putting it out to people? You know?
Yeah.
But this, I mean, it's at least relieved that, you know, fear that, you know, my content was just bad before this, apparently.
That's so funny.
Or it just like, you know, it's just kind of like random luck, you know, it just, all the things came together. Like this particular trend, I think, is just actually really, because there's a few others that are cat videos with the same sound that are also really, really doing well right now. So
people love cats, man.
But yeah, I think it's just kind of that. I think it's just that kind of the timing of it all just kind of came together nicely. But yeah, you know, with all that though, we've only gained 315 new followers.
That's interesting to me because most of my followers came from my like one slightly viral video. But also, I guess this was a cat video. I don't know, but that's still like a lot. That's solid. Incredible.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, if you think about, I don't know, it just doesn't, if your goal is to like kind of try to build a following or an audience, and it's like, oh, you finally went viral, and like you didn't really increase your audience size that much.
Right.
We did have Lad Bible reach out to us, which is they
like
basically
the
just
Lad Bible, like the UK based, like they make YouTube videos. They have celebrities on there. Yeah,
it's the Lad Bible that's verified on TikTok.
Wow.
I don't know if that's the Lad Bible. I would assume it's the Lad Bible.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, they reached out to us and asked us to submit it to their little form to use it. So I did that. Should I have done it? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know.
They said
like, what's the downside?
You'll get tagged in the post and whatnot.
They're stealing people's content to make money for themselves.
They said they give me credit. It's only going to help me, right?
Well, here's the thing, Jackson.
It's
is
like, in store credit or just like shout you out?
Store credit? The Lad Bible store?
No,
Lad Bible merch store?
This is the problem with, like, not to trash Lad Bible, who's helping out MADDOX and his content creator arc, but that's how they make money, is they take people's like viral videos and they use them in their own videos, and they lots of money out for that.
I agree with you. That is how they make money, in the sense of they are going to post this on their TikTok. They're probably, TikTok monetized and whatnot, and they're going to make money off it. However, my argument for the pro to doing this is MADDOX is not TikTok monetized. So it's not like they're stealing money out of his pocket. And to get TikTok monetized, you have to have at least 10,000 followers and like 100 hours or something, maybe more, of watch time, or I don't know what the second metric is. Maybe 100,000 views in a month or something along those lines. Anyway, point being, MADDOX, you're still well away from 10,000 followers. You're not even close to being monetized, right? So they're not taking money away from him. Like, they're just offering to give him more exposure, which is what you want right now.
And I mean, I feel like even if I was making money, they would still just be giving me more exposure. So we would just be like, basically the loser in that situation.
You already got 1.5 million views.
Yeah, basically the loser in that is the TikTok who's paying out, or whoever's paying out the advertisers or whatever. I kind of
agree.
I don't know how many followers you're going to get from the Lad Bible video.
Well, we will see, will we not?
But shouting you out.
It's not going to make me lose followers, is it?
Yeah.
I'll unfollow you. How about that?
I mean, maybe I might have lost Jackson as a follower, but that's a risk I'm willing to take, unfortunately.
MADDOX, congrats on going viral. I hope you can funnel some of those people into watching this podcast. Just go through and comment on every single thing and say, watch the 9 Degrees podcast. And maybe some people will. Jackson, pleasantries. What's going on in your life? Sorry I cut you off earlier, but I made sure to circle back.
It's not as important as MADDOX's thing. Okay, so this past week, I got an STD. I gotta save the date.
Wait. Okay.
I gotta save the date in the mail.
Jackson, no. Hold on. Pause.
What?
You can't say that. You can't start.
Why not?
Start that like that. What do you mean?
That's what it is.
You know what an STD means. You know you can't start it this way.
Well, it's not my fault that like some 3-word phrases have the same acronyms. It's just coincidence.
You make a fair point. The other day at work, I don't know why I thought about this just now. Someone used the phrase POC for person of contact, and I was like, that's not what that means.
They need to work on that acronym.
I agree. Go ahead. So you got an STD.
I did. I got a save the date in the mail for a wedding for a friend of mine, and it got me thinking. And so what was on this? Like, it's like a card. It got physically mailed to me. It probably cost like, what do postage stamps cost? Like 54 cents, plus the cost of the stationery with an E, which Jared didn't know was a word.
Listen, MADDOX did this recently. You guys sent out paper save the dates, didn't you?
We did.
What was the cost per thing? I don't know if that's how it's priced, but
well, I mean, there's the cost of getting the things printed from the Vistaprint or whatever.
Sure.
And then there was the cost of taking them to the post office and getting postage for all of them. What are you asking about?
The total cost per
divided by the number of people. Yeah.
I want to say maybe like $2 per.
Damn,
that's a lot of money.
That's expensive.
So okay, but here's what I have to say. The save the date. Do you know what it had on it? The date of the wedding. It actually didn't even have the venue, which I talked to my friend about this, and he said, "Oh, oops, that was an oversight." So
yeah,
they're gonna have
to. They have to reissue these.
Reprint, second save the date. Okay, but anyways, what I have to say is like, why do we send a save the date and an invitation? What's the point? Aren't we just doubling the amount of postage we're sending?
This is a good question.
Is this just a recurring Jackson's recurring segment where he gripes about one of his friends? At least it's not someone on the podcast.
Yeah,
this time.
I'm improving. I think
technically, MADDOX, it kind of applies to you.
But it's these things happen to me, and I'm just like, well, why is it like this? I'm a big fan of challenging social norms. I think social norms
it's because
traditions
of Hallmark.
are bad. Yeah, I'm actually not a fan of Hallmark movies, so I'll take any opportunity to bash them.
The only thing I can, actually, no. Now that you say it, I was about to defend it. Now I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense.
Because I mean, if it's like, oh, we can send it earlier, it's like, well, why not just send the invitations earlier? Because you already know who's going, and you know when it is, and you know where it is, presumably.
I was gonna say, hey, maybe you've picked the date, but you don't know the details of the venue yet. But usually, it's like
you have
the date is. Yeah, the date is only when you can get the venue. Right. So it's like if you know the date, then you know the venue. So
is it because the invitation has things like, the schedule? Like, oh, we're going to have a cocktail hour. We're going to do
but then I can see that.
But same point, like you could just send the full invitation earlier and
right. Well, and here's an alternative that I thought of is like, why don't we turn save the dates into an email,
They have that. I just got one via email.
Same.
Granted, it was the first one I've received via email, but
I actually have a whole last invitation via email.
If you guys are watching and you're having a wedding coming up soon, save a couple $100, do an email for your save the date. If you can get someone's physical address, surely you can get an electronic mailing address. That's what email stands for.
I can tell you haven't been married before. because when you're planning a wedding, a couple $100 to send out the invitations becomes a drop in the bucket in terms of the grand scheme of.
No, but the thing, people always say that, but it's like, when it comes to saving, every little bit counts, I think. And so when you say like, oh, I'm going to skip out on my $5 Starbucks order today, it's like, that can go a long way.
Think about this for the people that are getting married and listening to this podcast. Maybe saving $500 on your save the dates means you can spend $500 elsewhere in your wedding to get better food or more flowers or a better dress or whatever it may be. Maybe that's the trade-off.
Jackson, I don't know if we want to push into this in the homeroom segment, but to the $5 on your Starbucks, I heard a guy on social media say, hey, if that $5 on the Starbucks gets you up and gets you going in the morning and it gets you through your day, have that $5 Starbucks. What would you say to that?
What's wrong with home brewed coffee? I hear it's just as good and it's much cheaper.
Maybe you're a shit barista.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, if you can just drink the at home coffee and that's enough for you. But like, if just the $5 coffee, like what's the harm?
I don't know. I think spending money to like, I think it's artificial. That mentality of like spending money to like make yourself feel better. I think I actually get joy out of not spending money. So I'm kind of the reverse in that sense.
Yeah, well,
Okay. You should talk to Graham Stephan, Maddox. Isn't he like the biggest proponent of make your coffee at home and you can save like, I don't know, $4 a day or whatever?
I don't know. He's got the iced coffee hour.
It's because he
podcast,
makes all his coffee at home.
Does he?
Yeah.
With what? His $30,000 coffee maker that he bought.
That'll save you money in
exactly
17 years, I think. Is that the math?
Okay. I don't really necessarily have any gripes or anything. I'm sorry that I missed your guys' last episode. It was very fun to watch and play it back, but I was in Japan. My sister had a baby. I'm back from Japan. My sister still has a baby. With that, let's move right into first period with Professor Maddox. Lots of congratulations to you this week, I feel like, because not only did you have a viral cat video, you also had what I would describe to be a viral trade on the stock market, or multiple trades on the stock market. Is that fair to say? Is that a fair comparison?
Yeah, I don't know if it's viral.
Well, this one
or
actually
not,
made
but
him money.
Yeah,
That is true.
That's
this
true.
one actually made you money.
I would say I made the most money in the markets that I've made in a single week ever this week. The first week of 2025.
And how much money was that, Maddox? Tell us, please. The gross amount, pre-taxes, pre-everything.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't keep track
Say
of it.
it.
Like, I mean,
Say the
also
number.
I haven't realized some of these positions yet, so it's not even like I'm going for the bigger.
Okay, what's your estimate? Tell me.
It's in the six figures.
Damn.
Not over 200,000, but it's between 100,000 and 200,000.
Insane. I have never made that much money in the stock market ever in my life. Actually, my entire stock portfolio, my personal stock portfolio, is not even more than that amount. So kudos to you. Congratulations. Huge win. And I'm gonna take this as a win for the boys, for all of us. I heard
I'll buy you a round the next time we're out.
Good. I heard through the grapevine that you're giving each of your friends, a little 5% commish on the side just for being your friend. But it is what I heard.
Jerome's that one friend who, if you win the lottery, they'll pressure you into like.
Yeah, that's right. I'll start breaking
the money.
caps. No, So I was talking to my dad earlier today about this specifically, and my dad was like, "What, Jerome? Like you're financially savvy. You're smart. You have an MBA. Like you took all these finance classes and all this stuff. You theoretically understand what's going on with markets. Why can't you do stuff like this? Why, like what's stopping you?" And I really thought about it for a second, and ultimately it kind of comes down to, I know that I don't have the patience to try to learn, one, what you have learned, and two, the risk appetite to put up, thousands and thousands of dollars, risk it for the biscuit, as people say. And I guess I just wanted to kind of ask you a couple questions about, one, how do you even get to this level of like trading with this much money, and like having this kind of success? I would assume you probably had a lot of losses leading to this, or lots of quote unquote failures. Maybe you're one of those people that thinks of those as just like learning points or whatever. But yeah, that's my first question.
Well, I think your point about the risk appetite thing is probably like the most relevant, because if you're not a person that is okay with losing money, or like that's part of it. You have to like become very, very comfortable with the idea of losing money. And the majority of the time it is losing money. Like you're just that's what good trading is like not losing money, but the skew of your P&L when you're trading, it's not, I think sometimes people think of, days or weeks like this, they don't come every week.
Right.
They come like very infrequently. The
Yeah.
average week looks very different than that. It looks more like you're just taking bets and you're completely wrong. And when you're wrong, you're not losing that much money. Or maybe you have like, maybe you're making a little bit of money, but it's kind of just like you're just kind of like waiting, or you're just positioning yourself for like the big event to happen. And most of the time that doesn't happen. And when it's not happening, you're kind of just losing money, but not losing money or just kind of breaking even or making a little bit of money, but not like
And
excess,
trying to minimize
not like
the
excess
effect.
returns like this. Right.
So
if you go into it thinking like, kind of like how you're talking about it, like, oh, I need to like understand all these things and like learn about it and educate myself, and I don't have the tolerance for that. It's like you're kind of thinking about it wrong from the beginning, because, if you think to make big money in the markets, you have to like be right about the markets all the time, you're not going to be able to do it, because I'm wrong about the markets all the time.
So I really just know about like alphas and like these Fibonacci whatever that people talk about when they're analyzing stocks and blah blah blah
and options and stuff. No, or like Fibonacci, like for technical analysis and like
technical analysis. That's a good word to group it all together. I don't necessarily need to know all that.
No, you don't. I mean, you don't necessarily need to know anything. Like there's so many different ways to make bets in markets and so many different ways to think about markets. There's technical analysis, there's fundamental analysis, there's quantitative analysis, there's, like animal spirits, like,
like you have the octopus choose which team's going to win.
Right. So it's one of those things where there is a million different ways to do it. There's not a right way to do it. If you think about, I love thinking about this. Like, if you think about really, or at least in the public eye, like successful investors or traders or whatever, if you look at all of them, like they're not all doing the same thing. Maybe they have some principles that are overlapping, and that's valuable to understand. Like, what is the, but the actual like way they make the money, the strategy or whatever, is very different. Not everyone's a value investor like Warren Buffett. But
that's a good point.
So there's a bunch of different ways to do it. You just kind of have to do it yourself enough till you kind of build your own intuition and your own way of like finding opportunities that are there, and your own way of how to exploit those opportunities.
And so I guess the other thing that I kind of want to ask you is, you've talked previously before in your, Markets with MADDOX segment and whatnot, about kind of the signs that you look for sometimes. I feel like you talk a lot about macroeconomic stuff. We've talked in the past about Fed data, like unemployment data and, rates and things like that. So I know this week specifically, you made a pretty large bet in shorting crypto, max shorting crypto, right? What was kind of just going through your head? Why max crypto at this point? I can make a guess as to what I think. And then maybe you could tell me if that was right or wrong, or if you thought about it a different way. Here's my guess.
Okay.
Bitcoin specifically, not crypto as a whole, but Bitcoin specifically has been kind of hovering up and down around 100K or so for a while. Right after Christmas or so, I want to say it was at maybe like, call it 95-ish, 94, 96, somewhere in that range. And then kind of soon after New Year's, or maybe it was before New Year's, I can't fully remember, there was a pretty decent rally to where Bitcoin got well above 100 again. Now, my assumption is you maybe saw that as a sign of, okay, it's rallying a lot right now, but there's going to be people that are going to take some chips off the table, and it's going to kind of fall back and, contract a little bit. Am I right, or is there something else completely different that I'm just completely missing?
You're not necessarily right or wrong, and maybe you are somewhere right. But let me go back even further. Just like even just like how I'm thinking about the world right now, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, just as a general principle in markets, if you want to make outsized returns, so more than just putting your money in this asset and letting it grow over time, you know, you have to be betting against what the consensus view is, right? Or
Right.
so you have to be, you kind of have to be contrarian in some way or another, because the average expectations is being built into the prices of the assets. So
Right.
honestly,
in that way, it's almost similar to like sports betting, right? Like you have to take the underdog to make the big money.
Right. Essentially, yes. So just from like a very, like, even like, you can call it long term or just like more like a global perspective, like just like right now, like the average person is over invested in stocks,
Mm-hmm.
probably over, well, I don't know. Crypto's hard to say, because crypto as an asset class is underinvested in relative to other assets, but currently in the grand scheme of crypto's life, still being like a nascent technology, essentially. The current prices, I'd say it's
all-time highs.
They reflect exuberant expectations.
Yes. Agreed.
But over the long term, I think crypto is kind of an underinvested. There will be more investment in crypto in the long run.
Yeah.
Most people are underinvested in gold. A lot of people don't hold gold in their portfolios, or not nearly enough gold.
Interesting.
A lot of people are underinvested in commodities. And a lot of people have been overinvested in bonds, but and then so that's kind of how people are positioned. And then if you think about just the world right now and the expectations of the world, I think people's expectations about the future returns of stocks and the future of the economy are they're overly optimistic, just in general. I think that people think the future is going to look like the past, which has been good. And I think that there are concerns that have not been addressed yet that need to be addressed before we can continue a prolonged period of good. Just so that's just a general, and I've felt that way I've had that view essentially since COVID happened.
Yeah, I agree. And you have been vocal about that view essentially since COVID.
Yes.
Especially in the last, I would say, 18, 24 months or so.
Right. And a lot of the problems, that just from like what people experience and feel it's inflation related.
Right.
Prices have gone up and people aren't making more money. And so that is like the primary hardship of people's lives, right? And that is also, that inflation is not just things that you consume, it's asset prices too. So people trying to buy homes and people that weren't invested in stocks, that type of thing. So anyway, that, in my view, that for like at some point that has to get addressed.
Right.
I don't know when, but it has to get addressed. And so in my head, I'm seeing all these people that aren't thinking that way. They just continue to buy stocks. They just keep investing into their 401k or whatever. Just throw it in the index fund. Don't even think about the value of what they're buying or whatever. That dynamic just keeps perpetuating itself.
Yep.
And the risks have still not been addressed. So if you're thinking about trading, like almost always, like the money to be made is going to be on the downside, right? Because everyone is positioned for more upside. We're already in the upside. And eventually, for society to get where it needs to go, there has to be basically a decrease in asset prices at some point. And again, I don't know when, but it's like, that's kind of like, that's why I'm always looking for, like, I just in general think the opportunity is to the downside, because that's not what people are positioning for.
Yeah.
So when any signs of a change in expectations come about, that dynamic reverses very, very quickly. So that's where the opportunity is to make a lot of money very quickly. So yeah, and when I say the downside, it's like I think stocks and crypto, the money is on the downside. Things that are underinvested in and things that have been underinvested in for many decades and have will have more value in an inflationary environment like we're in, like gold and commodities and those things. I think those things have upside. So like just when I'm kind of like neutrally positioning myself, I'm usually just like long commodities, long gold, short stocks if they're at their highs, depending on certain scenarios. But let me get into like more recently, like more detailed, the way I was thinking about things.
Yeah.
So let's start at the election, right? The election it wasn't certain before the election what was going to happen, right? It was basically a 50-50 outcome. Like nobody knew for sure. Particularly markets didn't know. So market prices were not reflecting a Trump win over a Kamala win. They started pricing in a Trump win as it became more clear that Trump was going to win. But so Trump gets elected. That was a uncertainty that became certain. So that starts getting priced into markets. And the fiscal policy associated with Trump is, it is what it is. Like most people's expectations are about the fiscal policy that Trump's going to bring to the table is that it's going to be stimulative, right?
Right. Regardless whether true or not, that's the expectation.
Right.
Which is what markets price off of.
Right. So those expectations start getting priced in. At the same time, you have the Federal Reserve taking a accommodative monetary policy stance in their previous meeting leading up to the election. So those are the two last big data points that we have. Both, like, we're getting a lot of stimulation. So I'm not short stocks and crypto then. I'm long stocks and crypto because those are, I respect those expectations that are going to get priced in.
Yeah.
But then what you had happen was the next Fed meeting. And the next Fed meeting,
this is the one where they announced that they're going to cut back on their cutting of rates in 2025,
so
right?
They did another rate cut, but that was anticipated. So that was already priced in. Everyone knew that that was going to happen. But their projection of their future rate cuts were much more dialed back than what was anticipated by markets. So that's a big change. That's a change. That's an inflection point, right? That's a change in the status quo, essentially. So that's a change in people's expectations about the future, and therefore asset prices should change because people's expectations are changing, right? Asset prices currently prior to that, they were reflecting a lot more Fed cuts, right? But then that changes. Oh, we're not getting as much Fed cuts. Prices have to adjust.
Okay.
So I get short stocks and crypto then. And I kind of use, like, when I say stocks and crypto, I think of those assets right now as interchangeable. They're just like risk assets. They're majorly correlated with each other. I once wanted to believe that Bitcoin was more like gold than it was stocks, but then I accepted reality that we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Maybe I would love to see a day where Bitcoin proves itself to be like a storehold of wealth rather than a speculative asset. But right now it trades as if it's still just, it's mostly, it's more correlated with stocks than it is with gold. And so that's how it is. You have to accept what is reality at the time, not what ought to be. But so yeah, that was the, and I also, so I guess you can refer to that as like macroeconomic thinking about markets. But then, I mentioned when Bitcoin went through 100K, you asked me like, what did I think it was going to do? And I said, it'd probably trade a few $1,000s above 100K.
Right.
Because 100K is kind of like a milestone point. It'll probably trade a little bit above there, probably trade a little bit under there, and then probably, maybe oscillate until we have more information. Well, we went above, and then we got more information, and then we went below, and then we went above again. And I was already short, but the going above again was like, okay, this is, I don't know, like, and again, it's like, I don't know how to explain this. It's not like I'm like following this strategy or something, that I just like have this intuition where it's like, that's the perfect entry point, or that's the entry point to go in big, because
for a short.
Yeah, I was already short, but that was a back above 100K was like, this is a fake out. Like everyone's getting faked out right now. Everyone is like, oh, it's reclaiming 100K, like we're going back to the moon or whatever. But I don't know. This is just like experience, I guess. Like I've been doing
You've
this.
Been faked out enough times.
Yes, right. To realize that that's a good opportunity to go in with some bigger size there. So, yeah, that, and again, like over this, like since that Fed meeting, nothing's changed. We haven't gotten any new major information, right? So the short thesis is still intact until otherwise, until we get otherwise different information.
Right.
And again, I don't know how to explain, like, why am I focusing so much on the Fed? I don't know. I just like the intuition I've built is like, that's the data point that matters. Not, like you said, I can't follow the news and stuff. It's like, I'm not following the news. Like most of it is noise, you have to like,
right.
You just have to learn like what is noise and what is important, what actually matters. And the Fed shifting their expectations, or the Fed shifting their stance about how accommodative they're going to be, that's like something that matters. So yeah, I don't know. Also at that time, like just if you're asking just like literally what's going through my head, literally that day we had somebody in the Discord, a colleague of ours, ask about which Bitcoin ETF they should invest in.
Oh yeah.
And literally that is a data point to me. Like this is probably the top. Like people that are otherwise not
right.
Don't care about this thing, or now asking about it, trying to invest in it. It's like, that's pretty indicative of like this is, this is the top of, at least for, the local top, like for,
and to be fair, I just want to point this out. For anyone who's listening right now that thinks, hey, MADDOX is trying to screw over his friends in the Discord, that is absolutely not true, because he also told us in that same chat, hey, by the way, I am max short crypto right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not like you were trying to screw anyone over. You told us exactly what you were doing. None of us did it, but you did tell us exactly what you were doing.
So, yeah. So I guess that is a lot about how I was thinking about this.
Do you still feel of it, this many years into your kind of trading career, do you still think of it as kind of gambling, or do you feel more confident in when I, get the feeling, when I get the spidey sense, like I'm going to do well?
Okay. It's interesting because a lot of the things that are like principles in trading are like very, very synonymous with gambling, right? So like the idea of when you're making a bet, like your position sizing, right? So you size up, normally if you don't really have an edge, it's like a 50-50 chance that you're going to be right or wrong. You just kind of want to be like betting small, right? But then when you've been counting cards and the deck is hot, you want to be increasing your bet size, right? And
yeah.
So like that's in trading, that's very similar to like people that play poker or whatever professionally. Like
yeah.
The sizing of the bets is very important. Like you want to bet small when you don't feel like you have an edge, and bet big when you do feel like you have an edge. That's very synonymous. And then like the payout structure, it's like usually you're not, for the most part, you're not, it's not just like you're making like consistent money every day or every bet, you know? It's usually like here, make some here, lose some here, and then finally you get the big payout, right?
Right.
And then just go back to it. Make some here, lose some here.
It's like how they say at casinos, like if you think you have a like greater than 50% odds, you should double every single time because eventually you're going to hit.
Right.
And then,
but the key is like big losses do not exist. Like if you,
meaning you structure it in a way where you never have a big loss.
Right. And so you're talking about a little bit about this before, but the use of derivatives has been a really crucial component to my success because derivatives allow you to get a lot more exposure to assets than the money you actually have. So for instance, if you only have $10,000 of money to work with, with derivatives, you can get $100,000 worth of exposure to assets. And so if that 100,000 goes up 10%, you get to keep all that money and you've basically got 100% return on your starting capital. At the same time, though, if it goes against you, you lose all that money you started with. But this idea of asymmetry, right? Like you can take a bet and lose 1 if you're wrong, but you make 10 if you win.
If you're right. Yeah.
So if you think about that, like even if you're just flipping coins, like you can
lose 10 times before,
right,
and still make it back with 1.
Right. So even if you have even if you're not smart at all, like if you have no advantage, like you have no skill at predicting what's going to happen in the markets, if you can size your positions correctly in your payout structure correctly, like you could theoretically make money without predicting anything, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's like a thing that people don't understand. It's like I have these views, like I explained what my views are. Most of the time they've been wrong, right? I said I want to be short stocks and short crypto. Those literally have been the assets that have gone up the most in the past last year and this year. Like those are like the best performing assets. And I've still made a ton of money shorting them.
You're minimizing your losses when you are wrong.
Right.
But absolutely maximizing your wins when you're right.
Right. So like as they just kind of keep steadily going up, I'm just kind of getting chipped away at,
Yeah, right.
Losing money here, but then
you make back 30x what you lost and it's like, who cares?
Yeah. So, there's a lot of overlap and I don't gamble. I don't gamble leisurely or professionally, but I've a lot of the books. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of literature out there about people that were successful in markets and also successful in gambling. So there's like a lot of overlap there. I think the thing that I kind of think about the most is like, I started kind of like trading markets in 2017 when we were still in undergrad. And I mean, what I was doing then looks, I mean, honestly, in some ways it looks similar. In some ways it's very, very different. But there's definitely been times along the way where I just wanted to, like, there actually was times where I did quit. Like, I was like, this is a problem.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what I'm doing.
You felt like a gambler.
Not even like sometimes like early on when you're doing it, if you don't know how to manage risk and you really just think you're right about something. Like at this point, I there are times where I get intuitions that I'm really right about something, and hopefully that most of the time that is right now, but like sometimes I'm still wrong. But when I'm wrong, I know very quickly, and I know, oh, this is bad. I need to get out of this quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
When you don't have that intuition built up when you first start out, you'll take a big loss and then you feel just demoralized. You know, like you've been working a year at like trying to build this account up, and then like you literally just lose it in like one stupid like lapse of discipline, right?
Right.
And you're so hard on yourself. But it's just like that. Those are like lessons you have to learn. And it's funny because the things I'm telling you right now, like the principles to like doing this well, like the asymmetry and like the big wins against the small losses. Like, I've read that in a million different books. You know, it's like those are just like that's like, every person that is educating or has had success in the markets is going to say the same things, right? But like, you can go and read that as many times from as many different people, but like, you do not learn it until you experience it with your own money, and you lose that money and you feel like an idiot, and you do it numerous times, and you know, like you have to go through that, like the gauntlet of like feeling like an idiot and feeling like a loser and learning the lessons and internalizing the lessons, and then still, even at the depths of, you know, depression, like getting back at it and trying again, you know, like, I don't know, it feels kind of like lame and cliche, but it's like, I literally, you know, when I first started out, I like dreamed about making this much money in a week. Like, that would be like the dream, whatever. But it's like, it has literally taken till like the last couple of years to like actually get there. And it's like, are you willing to endure years and years of ups and downs, and like most, you know, feeling like you're just throwing money away, and feeling like you've actually figured this out, and then immediately feeling like, oh shit, like I don't know what I'm doing, you know? I don't know. It's a roller coaster. And I mean, I just genuinely think that, and so honestly, like, we had someone in the Discord, a new class. What is it?
Classmate or
new classmate?
Student?
I don't want to call them students, but like a new classmate joined the Discord asking about markets, and that's the advice I gave him. Like, just get started, because that's the only thing that's actually going to get you from where you are to where you're actually seeing success, because you have to put the money at risk. You have to learn the lessons, and there's nothing that anyone can like just say that is going to make you figure it out. Like, you have to just do it over and over again, and hopefully eventually get to the other side where maybe you make some money.
Listen, I could literally talk about this stuff all day. If you guys want to actually talk about this stuff all day, let us know, and I don't know, MADDOX will make a video, or we'll all make a video together where we just talk about this more and more and more, because I think it's super interesting. I know I've definitely lost a lot of money in the markets when I try to play with derivatives and options and whatnot. MADDOX, you and I even made a short-lived series where we tried to take our accounts from $1,000 to $1 million, and very quickly lost our $1,000. But to your point, hey, maybe we should have kept that series going, because look at you now. But I do think we have to switch some gears. So before we switch completely to second period, let's earn some lunch money with an ad read. This episode is sponsored by &Collar. &Collar is an affordable men's clothing company where the products are sustainably made with the equivalent of 15 recycled plastic water bottles. Their shirts have 4-way stretch, are machine washable, liquid repellent, and wrinkle and stain resistant. You can go to andcollar.com right now and get 15% off using code 9 in all caps. That's code 9 for 15% off. Thanks to &Collar. If you want to join the conversation with us as things are happening, come and join the Discord. The link is in the description below. You'll get our completely free thoughts, commentary on current events in the classroom, and every time MADDOX makes $100,000 or more, he'll post in there and make us all feel bad.
Notice how I only post the big wins, though. I never post about my losses.
I was thinking that. Post about the wins, don't post about the losses. That's it. But anyway, come and join the Discord. We love having new people in there, and we will answer all of your questions. Anyway, on to second period with Professor Jackson. What you got going on? I know you want to talk about a big scandal that's been in the news recently.
Yeah, so I forget where I originally saw this video. It might have been on Reddit. It might have just popped up on my suggested. But there was a video that was released by a YouTuber named Megalag, published a couple weeks ago. In it, he talks about the company Honey. Are any of you familiar with Honey? Have you heard of Honey?
Yeah, I have the Honey extension installed on my Chrome,
Oh.
and I've used it before. I've used it oftentimes before.
All right. By the end of this segment, probably Jerome, you're going to want to uninstall that.
I know.
But okay.
I know.
Anyways.
Honey owned by PayPal, we should say. I think PayPal
Yes.
acquired them approximately 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer.
Yes. I want to briefly summarize this. I highly recommend you go watch Megalag's video. It's a very well made video. He did a ton of research, and he actually like spent his own money to like investigate
Yeah.
Where some like money was going, and PayPal basically sort of taking commissions and things like that. But let me quickly summarize it.
There's a cliffhanger at the end as well. A coming soon part 2.
Oh yeah, it's not out as of recording this video. It might be out by the time you're listening to this, if you're listening to this 2 years in the future.
Okay.
Hi, by the way. Okay, so let me quickly summarize the video. So Honey, which is it's a browser extension, a free browser extension. What it's advertised to do is it's advertised to scour the web and to find you coupons for like online purchases you make. We'll get back to that in a second, but it's advertised. It's appeared in videos by I think over 100 YouTubers. I've seen it in Mr. Beast's video. He's like the biggest creator on YouTube, so they have access to they have access to all the biggest YouTubers who are advertising Honey for years and years in thousands of videos. Here's something that Honey does that this YouTuber Megalag discovered through his investigation. What they will do is, let's say you're a YouTuber. The example he gave is Linus Tech Tips, who's like a tech YouTuber. They have affiliate links in their description. So like if you want to buy a computer or any like sort of technology parts, you can click on their affiliate links. Linus will get a commission for that, and you'll get a referral. You'll get the referral, and you'll be able to go straight and buy something. So what Honey does, what PayPal is doing with Honey, is they're throwing up like a little pop-up on your screen when you go to order something saying, use Honey to check for any discount codes. And then if you click on yes, check or whatever, it's like doing some stuff in the background of your computer. And by the time it finishes, what it will do is it will replace your affiliate link that you're using, and there's also a cookie, I think, that's saved on your hard drive. It will replace the YouTuber whose affiliate link you use to navigate there with PayPal's affiliate link. That's right. So what PayPal is doing is they're partnering with all of these online vendors, and they have their own affiliate link. And so what it's doing is it's overwriting the affiliate link. And so what that means is if you make that purchase, PayPal is going to get the affiliate bonus, and your creator, your YouTuber that you watch, is going to get nothing.
That's right.
And that's
Maddox, this was one thing that I was just going to put in there. So have you used Honey? Do you have Honey as well?
Me? Are you telling me?
Yeah.
I have a Capital One version that literally, I'm pretty sure, got installed on its own somehow when I signed up for their credit card.
Me too.
But I'm sure it does the same thing. I don't think Capital One is I think they're probably all just doing the same business model.
Yeah, I assume so. But the interesting thing is sometimes you'll use Honey or Capital One or whatever, and you'll click like find codes, and it'll try a bunch of different things. Nothing will work. And then it'll just say like, you already have the best price possible or whatever. Has that happened to you, or you're familiar?
To be fair, I think that's the only thing that's happened to me. I don't know that I've actually ever gotten a discount. I'm not even kidding.
And so that's sort of by design. And let me explain the second part of this. So that first element was sort of denying the content creators commissions, which over time is, we're talking in like the 5, 6, 7 figures of
probably
money that's being, sort of stolen from them. That's big for YouTube content creators specifically.
Yeah.
It's rare that a scandal like this affects like so many content creators. But okay, the second thing, and this is to what Jerome and Maddox were just talking about, is Honey and PayPal, they are partnering with these vendors as well, and they're getting their own sort of discount coupon codes, like 5% off, 10% off. And what they are doing is they advertise that they will find you, they'll scour the web and find you the best coupons and discounts for your purchases. But in actuality, they don't do that. What they're actually doing, it's not even that they don't do it, they're doing worse. If there is a discount available that's like very high, like, say 20%, Honey will instead only offer their own discount code that's less, that's like 5%, 10%.
That's
They're
right.
actually going out and partnering with all these online vendors, and they're saying to them, hey, if you guys partner with us, we have our browser extension on so many, so many customers. If you partner with us, you're going to save money in coupons because our coupons are going to be prioritized that are lower in rate, and you're going to save money on discounts. And so not only are they not finding you good deals, they are intentionally offering their own deals that are less than the maximum available discount that you could get.
Yeah. So two parts. I want to back up for 1 second, because in my example of they find you no codes, right? You would think, oh, if Honey can't give me the discount, then they're not taking the affiliate income. That's not true. Apparently, if you click that button that says find codes, even if they cannot find codes, they're still replacing that affiliate link with their own, and they're still taking your commission. Right. Which that's crazy. The second part that Jackson is saying is this partnership program that they have with vendors. I believe it's called Honey Gold, or maybe no. Honey Gold is for the consumer side. I think on the vendor side, maybe it's called like Honey Partners or something like that. But exactly like Jackson's saying, if there's a code out there just online somewhere that's giving you 20% off, Honey will tell these vendors, hey, you pay us 3% or something, be a Honey partner. And then now all of a sudden we will block that 20% code out of our database. So people will never see it coming from Honey. And instead we'll offer this code that's like Honey 5 or whatever, and give them a 5% code. What do you think? So the vendors, they'll be like, well, oh crap, this 20% code is already out there. People are already using it. My hands are kind of tied. I have to sign up for this Honey partnership because otherwise people are going to be getting 20% off. So then they sign up and they basically block that code completely in favor of the 5% code. Insane.
Yeah. So I just thought of a contrarian. I mean, this is all awful, obviously, but I thought of a contrarian point to this. So we, as content creators, had a discount code.
I know.
A code recently.
I thought about this as well.
And it got picked up by a scraper and put into one of these code, the extensions, and we made some money from it. Not a ton of money, but it was a meaningful amount of money for where we're at in our podcast career. So at some level, they are legitimately like putting creators' codes in, and I would say probably in this case is because the affiliate, like the company that we were the affiliate partner to, was a small startup company,
right?
So they probably didn't have their own code yet, or they weren't partnered with them yet, or their own affiliate model with them.
I think you're probably right. And also we had a code as opposed to an affiliate link. So they weren't like stealing our link commission because we didn't have a link. We had a code. So I think that helped for us. And then also, I think you're absolutely right. They probably were not like a Honey partner or whatever because they're so small. And so they were likely, our code got picked up and then it got used and whatever.
So there's probably like a
profited.
There's probably like a micro layer where the extension's actually doing what it was designed to do, and then this bigger macro layer at the top with the major corporations that is just basically a scam.
Yeah,
right.
But according to Megalag, like you're talking about, he calls it fraud. He calls it straight up fraud in the tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, because across all YouTube videos, I think it was like almost 2,000 videos or something. He says it's like 7.7 billion views of Honey like ads. So it is insane.
Yeah, and like you guys said, it's not just Honey. Like there's other platforms that do this exact same strategy. There's even, maybe even like banks are doing it. Like major corporations.
Yeah, potentially.
Honey's under PayPal. PayPal is like one of the biggest online, money movers.
Yeah.
there is.
And actually, Maddox, I just thought about this. The previous example we were using, they every once in a while will run like a promotion, and they'll be like, "Hey, use this affiliate link." And I've done it on my personal videos every once in a while. And when I go and check the link for those affiliate links rather than codes, sure enough, I'll see like, "Oh, you had 8 clicks or 12 clicks for the last 30 days, but 0 income." So I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Maybe Honey's out here replacing cookies and taking my money.
Yeah. Dang.
And sometimes it's like a lot of money. Like affiliate codes aren't always just like, 10%, 5% or something like that. Sometimes it's like a flat commission rate as well. We had a different partner where they were going to give us like a flat rate per user or whatever, right? Or per customer. And the example that Megalags used in his video from Linus Tech Tips actually was like the commission was like $35 per person.
Wow.
Yeah. And Honey was just taking all of that. And then they have like a Honey rewards program or whatever that gives the user cash back, and they were giving them like $1 cash back for that.
Less than $1.
Yeah,
I'm
less
just
than $1.
I'm kind of surprised this hasn't been exposed sooner. I mean, Honey's been around since I was like first, like I feel like in high school, like
they've been around for. Oh, really? It's been that long? I know they've been around.
It's been a
since
long
the
time.
2010s.
Yeah, long time.
So it's funny, in the video, Megalag identifies that Linus Tech Tips and Linus Media Group had actually identified that this was happening in 2022, which was actually 5 years after they started the partnership. So it was 5 years before they realized that Honey was like actively causing a problem for their own affiliate links. It's kind of an irony. The big scandal here is that it's ironic that Honey, which is the company that you're promoting, is the one who's like
stealing money from you
from your other affiliate links. So
Yeah.
It's not like direct, it's indirect. And also it doesn't just impact that one YouTuber, it impacts all creators anytime you use any kind of affiliate link.
I heard the video I watched, I heard someone describe it as Honey's, giving you money up front just to like steal out your back pocket.
Right.
Yes, and that's what they're doing to the creators.
Yeah. Jackson, I wanted to get your thoughts on one thing. So, yes, in the Megalag video, he talks about and he shows emails with Linus Media Group where he's like, do you guys know that this is happening? Like, what's going on? And they admitted, yes, 2 years ago, we found out this was happening. We discovered it and we ended our partnership with Honey. And that was the end of the correspondence, essentially.
Yes.
He followed up with some questions and they didn't.
Yeah.
Right. Do you feel like Linus Media Group, as a pretty big YouTube channel, has a responsibility, or they should have done more to like bring this to light and stop other creators from using it? Because it seems like all they did was they stopped using them, but that was it.
They didn't say anything about it. Yes, I absolutely think they should have. They should have said something to other creators. They should have even said something publicly. Which, I mean, well, okay, here's the thing though. It's possible that in their contract with Honey, and we're not going to know this unless we partner with Honey. Honey, give us a shout, by the way. Would we take them? That'd be unethical.
The irony. We partner with them after exposing them.
I would absolutely partner with them.
I think that they should have, at least behind the scenes, talk to creators and say, hey, you need to stop promoting this product, and any related products.
Because like Mr. Beast did so many videos, and he is the #1 creator on the planet.
Yeah, that's how I first heard about Honey.
Right. Wait, actually?
So, yeah, but that's...
Yeah, neither here nor there.
Maybe I did, and I just forgot. I don't know.
Wait. Jackson is a closet Mr. Beast fan?
Wait, how... what?
I didn't know you were a Mr. Beast fan, to be honest.
Yeah, I like Mr. Beast videos. They're fun.
Have you been watching Beast games?
You get
Beast on Prime.
I just watched them in channel.
You get on the Shorts channel and just doom scroll.
Anyways,
no,
I mean,
gave $5 million to the person that can keep their hand on this helicopter the longest.
So back to the point at hand. No, I mean, this is sort of a recurring theme in a lot of aspects of life. Is just that, the people, the masses, they're getting screwed by products that are supposed to be, it's free or it's going
Right.
to save you money. And even when people find out about it, news of it doesn't get out. It takes a YouTuber doing years of research and spending their own like hundreds of dollars on their own to and making a video about it to expose it. It's not good.
That being said, that Megalag video has done so many views. It's done like 15 million or something like that when I watched it almost a week ago at this point.
I would almost say
he's probably made a lot of money.
I was going to say it would take what Jackson just said, plus it just like happening to go viral. Like,
right.
I could definitely see someone making a video like that and it just like, honestly, maybe even intentionally gets oppressed.
There's been posts on like forums, and maybe there's been posts. He didn't even mention a post on Reddit ever. So it's like,
no, he said he tried to look, and he said outside of like a handful of like random, forums. Small forums, nothing. But to Maddox's point, maybe honey moderators are going on Reddit and deleting a bunch of posts. Who knows?
Oh, actually, I have a theory that like a lot of content on Reddit is like, this is my conspiracy theory, is that a lot of content on Reddit is like there's corporate interests who are like making certain comments or like upvoting, downvoting.
Interesting.
That's my personal.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Government actors, corporate interests. Anyone who has money to pay for something like that.
Right. Well, no, I definitely agree. I think this is just insanity. I hope that this catches enough wind, that some sort of lawsuit, some sort of punishment, something legit like happens to Honey, to where they're like forced to like stop these practices or forced out of business. At the very minimum, the switching out the affiliate link at the last second, insane.
What would be cool? I would imagine that since this is a very like technical scam that was happening, I'm wondering if there's data for every affiliate link that was swapped out, and that they could be forced to like pay it back to all the creators.
I bet you with like some sort of like cyber forensic analysis or audit, they could probably figure that out.
I feel like there could be something there for a big,
it'd probably be a lot of work. You'd have to figure out like how many cookies were replaced and whatnot, but I'm sure the digital footprint is there.
The consumers that bought things with the lower discount code, you could probably track that data too and pay them the difference between what they paid and what they could have got. It could be a big.
Hey, this is Maddox's good business idea for the week. Start a digital forensics firm.
Or
consulting firm, yeah.
You just hire me as the lawyer, and I'll.
There you go. Wait,
I'm doing the class action lawsuit for.
There we go.
Here's one.
It probably will be something like that. Go ahead.
But here's one worry I have is that it's not just Honey doing this. It's a lot of companies. It's even some, potentially. I don't want to start rumors, but someone mentioned Capital One. They might be doing this.
Maybe we don't know.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
I wonder if
the 9
these
Degrees
companies
podcast, Capital
have
One,
done a lot of legal research on this before starting to carry this out. It's possible that what they're doing is totally legal, and that's kind of not good. Not good for the world.
I agree. But also on that, like last note, it's like everything's legal until it's not. You know what I mean? Just because something is legal doesn't mean that it's not. Doesn't mean that it is ethical and correct. Like in terms of legality, maybe this is only legal because no one's ever thought about this anymore, or there's been no precedent for this. You know what I mean? That doesn't make it right.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is that these companies have thought about it. They've put some resources probably into analyzing, okay, is this legal? That makes me think that like, if they did a good job of doing that, then probably it is legal and they're doing everything by the books.
Is that how like even the court system actually works though? It's like
I would think so.
It goes to court and the judge is like, well dang, they put it in the contract, right? Oh well, sorry consumers. Is a court system, is there not like room for discretion?
I feel like that is the point of the court system. It goes up high enough, potentially Supreme Court or whatever, and they'll be like, no, this is bullshit in the contract. You can't enforce this.
Well, but you have to be acting within existing law. You can't say, oh, this And if there's potentially some gray area, that's what the Supreme Court adjudicates a lot. But every decision has to be based on actual law that's like in effect.
But I think Maddox's point is just because something is like written in a contract doesn't mean
that's correct.
It's legal and that they can do that.
So
yeah, that was my point. Like, surely we signed off on this when we accepted the terms of use or whatever, but that doesn't make it stand up in court. I don't think if they're still like taking advantage of people.
Correct.
So
I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens with this one. Yeah. I'm interested to see because, maybe that means affiliate income will go up for the 9 Degrees podcast. On that note, should we switch gears again and move on into Recess, our segment where we talk about our findings of the funniest and dumbest memes on the internet or games, potentially? Like this week, apparently Maddox has a game prepared for us. What's going on?
All right. Yeah, I brought some props too. No.
Okay. What?
All right, so we're gonna play 9 questions out of the theme of the podcast. 9
instead of 20 questions. 9 questions.
20 seems like too many, so I'm gonna give you guys 9 questions. And I'm gonna give you the answer to the first question. I'll take the first question and I'll give you the answer, and then you guys each get 4 questions each.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, so these are some supplements that I've been taking from a brand called VitaHustle. Okay,
isn't that Kevin Hart's brand?
God damn it, that was the. All right, we need a new segment for Recess.
Did I just
I've been waiting for weeks for you to be on. I had to skip last episode. I should have known. Jerome, the Kevin Hart enthusiast over here.
Yeah, he's been doing his Kevin Hart impersonation all podcast. Like, damn.
All right. Well, anyway, so that was gonna be the game. We were gonna guess who owned this supplement brand. I found it. They sell it at Walmart, and honestly, I really like it. It's got, I don't know if it's the best, but like I'll say this. For the typical supplement that is sold in just like your regular store, I feel like this is a really like superior product.
What supplements is it? Or is it like a daily multivitamin type thing?
Well, this is that one's just like a protein powder, but like listen to this. So, one, it's a plant-based protein powder, which that's the only protein powder I do now, because I think I know for a fact that I have a dairy allergy or sensitivity, something along those lines. Basically, I just mostly avoid dairy. So the plant-based is always the safer option, in my opinion. But then it's also got 86 superfoods and nutrients. It's got probiotics and prebiotics, so it's got digestive support. And it's got adaptogens and antioxidants. So adaptogens are like...
Aren't these all just buzzwords? You don't think this is big doctor?
No. Okay, for the most part it is, but like when you look at the actual ingredients, like the adaptogens is like... Well, I mean, do you guys like probiotics and prebiotics? Like those are pretty important things. Like,
yeah, I like those. My stomach's always messed up, so I need those for sure.
And then, I mean, the 86 superfoods and nutrients, like, yeah, that's a buzzword. But then adaptogens is like, that's like mushrooms type stuff. So it's like good for focus and like stress and stuff. So it's like a lot of like, it's like a good, like all-in-one supplement, you know?
Okay.
And it tastes good, and it doesn't have a lot of it doesn't have a lot of the added bull crap in it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's nice. And then this is just like a greens powder, so it's just like
What are those? I keep hearing about these all over the place. AG1, Athletic Greens, whatever.
I mean, the way I think about it is like ideally you would get your serving of vegetables through your eating diet, good vegetables every day, but that's not always practical. So this is just a lot of vegetables in one. And so you just again,
drink it once a day or something,
like fiber, probiotics, and And this one tastes pretty good. Some of them taste like crap.
What's the flavor?
This one's mixed berry.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah, I bought this one recently. I had been using the protein powder for a while, but then it came out with this one, and I bought it. And yeah, Kevin Hart's right there on the.
Nice.
And I was like, dang, Jerome would love this.
Were you holding it to cover it up? I noticed you were holding it kind of weird.
Yeah, I was intentionally trying to cover him up.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry. I always have more things prepared for recess if needed. You guys want to talk about some memes?
I was going to say, though, before I started the segment, I was going to, before Jackson started criticizing me about the pseudoscience of supplements.
I saw it in his face. I saw it. That's why I brought up Big Doctor.
Oh, actually, I have a question. I don't take any vitamins or supplements. Do you think I should?
Probably.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Start with the hair supplement. What's it called?
Wow, that wasn't nice.
Yeah, that was rude. The thing is, like you said, is it a bunch of buzzwords, and is it actually good for you? Like, I don't know, but I'll tell you this: if I start my day, well, I also like fasting too, so I typically don't eat breakfast. But if I start my day, like when I start consuming things, which is usually around like noon, if I start my day with this, drinking this, and then I make myself a protein shake with this, and then I don't eat till dinner, I feel so good.
Wait, question. Your lunch is a protein shake?
I guess I'll that'll be like the first thing I consume in the day, and if I do that for lunch, I'll usually maybe need to have like one more snack or small meal in between that and dinner. But yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I love it. I feel so good.
I'd just like to point out to all of our viewers and listeners that we have 9 degrees among us, but none of them are in any health science.
Yeah, correct. I know nothing. But it's such a far change from where we were in college, Maddox, where literally all we would do all day is just stuff our faces full of as much protein as we possibly could in the form of chicken, pork, beef, whatever.
Yeah, I know. And honestly, I think that was so wrong. I think that was so not good for me.
We were so big and buff.
Yeah, I know. But one, you can justify that a little bit more when you're literally in the gym for 2 hours a day. I'm not in the gym for 2 hours a day anymore.
I'm in the gym for maybe 2 hours a year.
Right. So the goal when you're not working out all the time, the goal is not to try to consume every bit of protein that's in your sight. It is probably to try to put as little calories and as much nutritional calories into your body as possible.
I got a couple memes or something we can talk about if you guys want to real quick before we end this episode.
Yeah, everyone loves memes.
How about this one? Maybe not a meme necessarily, but just a fun fact. Did you know Pfizer has been in business for 175 years and hasn't cured one single disease?
What does that mean?
I think it's a play on like big pharma is just trying to make us take more medications and blah blah. They're not actually trying.
If you're a big pharma, if like people aren't sick anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You can't cure the illness because you need people to be sick.
Well, I was just like, are they even trying to?
I think that's the joke.
No,
okay,
they're not.
Yeah, it's no, they're not. Why give you a vaccine for cancer when
Bill Gates almost got rid of polio, though?
We have gotten rid of polio. Yeah, what's that about?
Well, people don't vaccinate their children.
Oh my God. Okay.
Not to get into murky waters.
But is that how it came back? Actually, though.
Yeah, I think so. Just
because
polio's like rates.
Because polio's like effectively eradicated, but it's not actually eradicated, right?
Is it eradicated worldwide? I'm not sure.
I think not. Otherwise, it can't come back. Can it just like develop in a human body just like that? Is it contagious? Can I get polio from someone with polio coughing on me?
Ooh, I think it is contagious.
All I
know is that vaccination rates, not just for polio, have decreased in recent decades.
Okay, I've got two more. I'm going to save the funny one for the end. Here's an email from a company called Yes Madam. I have no idea what this company does, but I saw this on my Twitter the other day. Yes Madam held a stress survey. Okay, They had their team members, answer the survey about how stressed they were feeling. Jackson, if you look this up and this is like some sort of escort service, I'm going to be so upset. I'm going to be so upset. Stop Googling right now.
That's what I thought it was, but it looks like it's just a beauty salon.
Okay, cool. But okay, so upon getting the results of this survey of are you stressed at work, yes or no, their HR team, HR manager, responds to a team-wide email saying, "Dear team, recently we conducted a survey to understand your feelings about stress at work. Many of you shared your concerns, which we deeply value and respect. As a company committed to fostering a healthy and supportive work environment, we have carefully considered the feedback. To ensure that no one remains stressed at work, we've made the difficult decision to part ways with employees who indicated significant stress. This decision is effective immediately, and impacted employees will receive further details separately." What a way to deal with stress in the workplace.
I did see that. Is that real? Do we know? I thought I saw something that said that was not real.
I hope it's not real, but if that's real, that's insane. How are you going to say I'm stressed at work and their solution is, okay, you're fired. You don't have to be stressed anymore.
Yeah, that's why I never fill out the HR surveys. You never trust HR. That's your advice if you're an adult.
That is true. Okay, I've got one more. This one is funny and takes me back to my college days because I'm sure I had some classmates that did something like this. This is a guy. Honestly, I feel like you guys have probably seen this before. This is a guy that emailed his teacher, his professor, on a Friday or something when he was super drunk, asking for an extension on his paper. Here's what the email reads, and I'll put it up on the screen for everyone that wants to see. "Mr. Martin, just letting you know that you are a G, and I'm sorry that you're bald. LOL. If you want, I can hook you up with a girl who can get your hair back and keep you banging. Also, I just need to ask you for an extension on my paper. I'm really f***ed right now and will be sick as tomorrow. Keep slaying, boy, and I forgot to do school loop again. Love you and see you Monday. Good fucking yard. Patrick Davidson." Sent from my iPhone.
Sent from the iPhone really tops it off.
And the teacher responded. He responded. Here's what Mr. Martin says. "Patrick, sounds like you had a great night. I will extend your paper deadline to Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. It must be submitted to turn it in. Please refer to my syllabus for information on how to submit your paper. I appreciate your concern for my bald head. My wife likes it, and I don't get paid enough to get hair implants. On a side note, what were you drinking last night? Next time you email me, I'd like a bottle of whatever you had so I don't have to remember what you said."
Oh my gosh, that's good.
Signed, Good Yard, Mr. Martin. What is that sign off? Good Yard?
Good yard. I've never heard of that. I'm gonna start hitting that.
either.
It sounds like an autocorrect thing. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But I just thought that was freaking hilarious. Again, same thing. I don't know if this is real or not, but assuming that it is, hilarious. Well, I like that episode, boys. How'd you guys feel?
Feel good.
That was good.
Good. Well, on that note, thank you guys for watching another episode of the 9 Degrees Podcast. As always, if you want to interact with the professors, make sure to join the classroom on Discord in the link below. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jerome Vaz. I got to start talking slower. Watch the video version of this podcast. We also have Instagram, TikTok, at 9 Degrees Pod on everything, so make sure to check those out. Thank you guys for watching the episode, and class is now dismissed.
Good yard.